Okay, welcome back, my super learning group of third year from construction10. This one is dedicated to CH at the back. Okay, CH, so this one is for you, and hopefully you'll be able to follow along and understand what I'm talking about. And if anyone else has any problems, here to talk to CH, who will come to me with the issues, and you don't say out in class, we don't understand, you're not clear enough. Okay, we set up a system of communication. That way we learn our core skills for life and how the real world works as you move on and leave school and get on with your lives, and you're learning lots of skills, not just maths. Okay, how's this going to work? Well, let me just give you a warning. Don't try and make a triangle with that length, and that length. Okay, because no matter what you do with this, it's not going to finish the triangle. So the rule is that if you add the two shorter ones, it should be longer than the long one. I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so so we just lay down to say that's going to be one side and this is going to be another side. Well, I make sure if I'm coming from here that this is longer than this bit, than here. Okay, so these are my three sides, and I'm going to construct down here a triangle. And here goes our best friend of all, our working line, which can be nice and long. It's not any particular length. Start with your working line. Now, funny enough, we're going to lift him and bring him here. Now you want to make sure none of those three are longer than your full span. But that's okay. Your full span is more or less the width of your copy. Not quite, but from margin it almost goes to the end, just leaving a tiny bit there. So that's my length for the big long one. You want to put the long one at the bottom. It just makes it nice and get a nice solid base. So it looks like a nice stable triangle. So at this point we've copied that. Now we're going to copy the one on the left if you like, but there's no particular order to them. And we don't know where it's going to end, so we're going to go with a big arc. This time we're going to copy, and I swing it around and come at this from the other side. Okay, and I measure him up. We come in like that. I think you'll agree this looks like a very nice construction. CH, you were choosing for this for a very nice construction. You're very lucky to get this one. Okay. Now that's your triangle reproduced. And if the examiner asks you, but remember, I just want to say this again, in Greek times these were each individual units. And it was measured from there to there. So to compare it with centimeters of the modern era is a bit silly. But still in all, that's 110. That's 64. And that's 75. And they will correspond to those measurements. You don't have to worry about that too much. Let's go again. It would be too short a video if I didn't do another one. I can also say that the closer they are to each other, the more acute you'll get. And if you want to go to extremes, say pushing towards, you want a really obtuse triangle. And what you can do is just barely have an overlap. I'm eyeballing that down here, but because I'm only barely having an overlap, this will be highly obtuse. So now, it takes discipline not to start measuring, but you're not allowed to measure. And you're not even, you must resist the temptation to measure. You must do your working line indefinitely along there. Then we go measuring. At least measuring with your compass. Very good measuring device. One. Now here's the other temptation. If you push here with this, you can make it be in the right place, but then it could spring back. So you want to make sure you're holding if you want to do accurate work, hold your compass up here. And you see, it's done exactly that. Okay, so I have to push it in and leave it go. And again, there's a bit of trial and error and it's not quite there. Now it's there. And they have, when I correct your papers, like I correct Junior Cert, when I'm in there correcting, I have a template and a certain amount of tolerance, and it's usually just a degree and maybe a few mil. You do have to make an effort to be, they do take into account people's eyesight, and they do allow a little bit of flexibility and a margin of error. Now that would be a big mistake to come over here, because I haven't even gone to this. I'm too busy yapping on and chatting. Okay, so I want to concentrate now and make sure that I've done that. So that's something to check for. Come over here. Okay, they just meet there. So I said this would be obtuse. And we will confirm that. A very simple obtuse test. Let's take out a set square and check that it's bigger than 90. And it is. Okay, so that's obtuse. Weren't asked to measure it. You could measure this, you could measure this. Okay, one thing about measuring is just, I always kind of want to just go, well, how is it compared to this? And another thing is, if you don't have, we'll have plenty of practice with this later on, but if you don't have it, you have the back of your ruler here to measure. So you see this point here, the bottom to 6, is the point of the protractor. And then this line here is between, now it ain't 45 and 60 because we're increasing. So it's actually, yeah, I can measure, I can subtract this from 180. So we call that 50, so we call that 130 degrees. Okay, you could say, well, that's the reason for having the scales going both ways on this. And I'm learning about this gear and the different combinations all the time. Call out to CH, call out to my third years. Super stuff, guys. Keep up the learning. And we're going to wrap that up for the weekend at the end of week. Is it 13 or 14? Week 13, I think. Yeah, week 13. We've got as far as construction 10. And we might give the constructions, if you can get them ready for a test. Next week, we may then triangle give an SAS. Now we'll do 2 more, 3 more, if you like it. I'll talk to you about it, and then we have to push on to some other chapters in the book that we have to do, so we're lined up with other people from a higher level in case they come down. Okay, that's the end of today's lesson. That's the end of the lesson for the weekend. You're super learners. Keep it up. You can do it. You can all get whatever is your mark. Some of you are going to get A's, some of you are going to get B's, some of you are going to get C's, but you're going to do your best in your junior cert. Okay, bye bye.